let's say you have all of your finances together. You have your job, your W-2, or you're self-employed for 2 years, right? Now you have to deal with the credit situation because you can make all the money in the world but have terrible credit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're good on the finance end of things, and everything else seems like it's okay, but you want to get your credit in check, right? So what's the best way to go about getting a credit card, or should you even have a credit card or a couple of credit cards when you're trying to get a crib? What is the best thing that you should have in terms of your credit when it comes to purchasing your first home? Because I don't want to talk about how to get a credit card. That's pretty simple, right?
Yeah, you apply.
You apply.
Right. This is not rocket science.
So that's pretty simple. But
yeah.
How many cards should you apply for? Because some people, in my head, I have it where it's like, all right, well, you should probably have a good, maybe like two, 3 credit cards. Because you don't want to just have one credit card, right? Because it doesn't look like you have a lot of history, or the banks don't really trust you, or.
Well, typically what a lender is going to look for is how many active trade lines do you have?
Trade lines is what?
It's your credit card.
Okay, so that's just a different term.
So you have an Amex card. Let's say you have an Amex Platinum. You have an Amex Gold.
These are basic cards?
I'm just giving you an example.
Okay, well, we don't. Let's talk as if we. I
can't,
let's talk from a
right.
50,000, 50. Let's say 50K. Well, I don't know what the average salary is.
So let's talk. All right, let's not talk. Let me not say Amex. Then,
You're
okay?
talking about some Amex, like.
So Visa or MasterCard.
Okay. Let's just say Capital One.
So you have a Capital One. Capital One uses MasterCard, right? You know, you got Visa cards.
Okay.
So each card is a trade line reporting to your credit report.
Okay.
Right? So what mortgage lenders are looking at is that how many active and open trade lines do you have, and how long have they been active for, right? Have they been active for 6 months, 12 months, 2 years? Typically, if you're doing a conventional loan, you want to see a couple trade lines for at least 2 years.
At least 2 years.
At least 2 years.
For a conventional.
Yeah.
Is there a general thing, like, let's say if you want to go into buying a house and you don't know what loan you want to do yet, which one should you, like, how do you prepare yourself where it's like,
so
right,
as far as what credit card is what?
Well, I'm saying, like, how do you said conventional, you want to have at least.
Yeah, I'm just giving you game on what we look for from a lending perspective of analyzing someone's credit report. Right? So like if you apply for a loan and you have no active trade lines, and let's just say even if you have a 600 credit score, but you have no history, you will get frowned upon, right? From a lending perspective, unless you're going with a program that's not requiring you to have a certain amount of trade lines active and open, right?
Yeah.
And there's not too many of those programs out there.
Okay.
So typically if someone's building credit, one of the first things I tell people is, who do you know that has good credit? Does your mom, does your dad, does your brother, or your sister?
Okay.
Right? So that way you can get on their accounts as an authorized user.
This is if, does it matter age? That's usually like a younger.
No, my kids are authorized users on my accounts, right? So basically, do you know what an authorized user is?
I mean, I do know of it.
Yeah.
Have I ever done it? No, but
so,
I know
so
people
like
who have
even
done
with
it.
like with one of my cards, I can make you an authorized user on one of my business cards since you spend money for the business. I make you well, in that case it'll be called an employee card, right?
Yeah,
so
but
let me stick to personal.
Right.
So if I wanted you to get on one of my personal credit cards to help you build your credit, I can add you as an authorized user to the card.
Okay.
And then basically my payment history that I've had for the life of me having that credit card now transfers over to your profile, to your credit. And that can instantly boost your credit scores, right? So if I have 750 credit scores, I've had this card for 10 years, and I've never been late, and I keep low balances. That entire history now goes to your credit report, and now that boosts your credit scores up.
Okay.
And now in turn, that can help you now start building your own credit in your own personal name, right? So that's one thing that I always tell people to do when they're fresh starting to like build their credit profile for homeland to unlock home ownership, right? Second thing I would tell someone to do is get a secured credit card, You know what a secured credit card is, right?
Yeah, so from what my understanding is, a secured credit card is where you have to put the money. Let's say if they give you a limit of $500, you have to put the $500 in there, and then that's basically what you have.
Exactly.
You know.
So when I lost everything, right, my credit went to shit. I mean shit, like 400s and some change, like 480 and everything like that.
Damn.
Like, yeah, no, it went to shit. And what I had to do is I think it was HSBC at the time or Citibank. I think it was Citibank, matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was Citibank. Matter of fact, it was Citibank because I actually still have this card, believe it or not. It's been like 12 years that I had this card. Wow. And I went and I put $500 on the secured card. And that was the start of me rebuilding my credit again. So I did a $500 secure credit card, and I think after a couple years, it turned into a non-secured credit card because I paid it on time every single month. And then I had one of my homegirls, she's like best friend basically. She added me to one of her credit cards as an authorized user, and that helped me rebuild my history. Right. So that's what I tell people because I did it myself. Right. Get a secured credit card, use it like cash, use it, pay it off, use it, pay it off, use it, pay it off. And that will in turn give you a trade line and help you build your credit score. That authorized user gives you another trade line. It will help you build a trade line. But some banks might want to see that you have at least two primary trade accounts, right? So authorized user, you're not the primary. Your own secured card, your primary. So then you find another bank that would do the secured. If you can't apply and get approved naturally because your credit might be lower still, do two secured credit cards and start using them, paying off, use like gas, groceries, things that you know you're going to pay for in full. Yeah. Use it for that. Easy, simple ways. Like I think too many times people try to complicate stuff. Right. And what I did was I did simple, easy stuff. It was gas bill, my grocery bill, my dry cleaning, you know, stuff that I know I usually typically pay cash for or something like that. I would do that. And then what I had to train myself to stop doing was using my debit card. Right. Because it's easy to use your debit card because you're not getting yourself into debt. Yeah. Using your debit card. It's the same as using cash. But I had to train myself to get out of using my debit card and being okay with leveraging the credit, but just getting in the habit of using it, paying it off, using it, paying it off, and not wait until a statement date or due date or anything like that. If I used it today, I pay it off tomorrow. Does that really help? That was my next question. Yeah, because now you build history, right? So if I give you money, right, it's like let's talk street terms. Let's talk street terms, okay? So if I am the connect, I am the plug, and you are the dope boy, and you come to me for some consignment, and you want a brick, and I say, okay, you got 3 weeks to pay me, and I give you this brick, and you go out here and sell all these drugs, and you give me my money in a week time, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to be happy. Yeah. You paid me 2 weeks prior to. Let me give you 2 more bricks, right? And then now you go out here and you hustle, and you sell your bricks, and you pay me back off sooner than expected. So what are we doing? We're building a relationship. Street terms. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. You broke it down pretty well. That makes sense. Okay. Okay. So now, how do you convert that into? So do you think it's smart to like take your money? Let's say if you're getting paid, right? Do you think it's smart to like? Well, actually, it's the same thing then. So basically, what you want to do is just turn your actual money into credit. So whatever you're spending every single day for gas or whatever it is, you just want to use your credit card instead, and then the next day just pay it off. Basically, so you can. That's actually a good way to stay on top of your expenses too. 100%, because you're not spending. Now you get into the habit of you're not spending money you don't have. You don't have, right? Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now you start. See, the problem with credit is that sometimes it's so easy to get credit and over leverage yourself with the credit, and then you fall into the credit card matrix. Yeah. And then now you're paying 29%, 25%, 24% interest on top of that money. So I have several credit cards that I only use probably once or twice a month to this day, just for gas, just to keep them active and open.
Yeah.
I don't really fool with those credit cards. My Amexes is like the cards that I fool with, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because those are where I make all my purchases in my life because I like my points. I'm trying to get millions and millions of points, right? So, but the other ancillary credit cards that I have, I won't never close them. But if you don't use them, they will close them. Like you have no activity, so they'll just use them. They'll just close them. So I'll use those cards, like even like for like my Ubers sometimes. Like I'll switch to like, let me grab the Uber on this one. Or if I'm at the gas station, you know what, let me not use the business card, although it's more beneficial for me, but I want to keep the relationship going with the bank that has this credit card, right? So I think starting off when you are trying to rebuild your credit, it's not hard. Like you get secured credit cards, you get authorized users, and if you can't find the authorized users, you just find banks that would do secured credit cards. Now, I can't tell you which banks to go to. Obviously, someone who's in the credit field will have that, but I would just say it's simple. Google's your best friend.
Right.
Google secured credit cards. I guarantee you, if you probably Google it now, you'll probably find a list of secured credit cards that are out there that you can use to start rebuilding your credit up.